I wanted to do a story time about the worst acid trip I've ever had. Every time someone brings up acid or is like, oh, let's do acid or something, I literally always think about the story, and I feel like I have to just like get it off my mind because I don't even know what else to do at this point. And every time someone brings up acid or like mentions it at all, I'm like, I literally always think about this shit. My worst acid trip ever. I literally always think about this shit whenever someone brings up like acid or like says let's do it or something. I always think about this. So okay, so while I tell the story, I'm gonna be smoking some sherbet and a little clear joint. Okay, so I used to have a best friend. I'll call her like, I don't know, I feel like I should just call her best friend for this because I'm not gonna remember some other shit. We would always like just like go kick it with random guys. Like she would like, either someone would just hit her up like on Facebook or like Instagram and we'd like go hang out with them. This one day, this guy hits her up and it's like the plug. Like this guy is known for like selling like hella shit, like everything. He has whatever. So I'm like, okay, fuck it, let's go hang out with him. Like, I'm always down to hang out with the plug. Like, I don't give a fuck. So we're like, okay, and he's like he says he's with a couple of his friends. And so we're like, all right, swoop. So he comes to pick us up. Oh my god, they literally show up in the creepiest, like, fucking Jeepers Creepers, like, creepy fucking van. Like, creepy van. It's, like, brown and rusty. It's, like, a white creeper van, but it's, like, all old and brown and rusty. I'm not even kidding. It was so disgusting. So, anyway, they show up in this creeper van. Then they take us back to, like, their little kick-it spot. It was, like, a little, guest house in the back of like their parents' house or something. I don't even know. It was like where they would kick it, I guess. So he starts pulling out like all this shit. He's like, what do you guys want to do? Like this, or this? And I don't know, I think he brought up, he's like, oh, I have like a few tabs of acid, or I have like this many tabs or whatever. And at this point, I was like, I had like just done acid maybe like a couple times. I really enjoy like just having like a kind of out of this world like experience, but also like kind of an inner deep self-reflection kind of thing. Like I like getting really high basically. Like acid's fun. Like acid's harmless for the most part. And I think it's fun. So I was like all into doing acid. So he's like, oh, I have a few like tabs of acid. And I'm like, okay, like I'm down. Like, and I was like, oh, my friend never did acid. Like, oh, she's gonna be so fucked up. I'm gonna laugh. I would make fun of her. I was talking hella shit, right? Because I'm like, oh, I'm such a badass. I've done acid like 2 or 3 times. Like, I was saying my friend's gonna like totally get just like so shitty. Like, I was just basically gassing on her, like, oh, you're gonna get too fucked up, bitch, you can't hang, like, da-da-da. And then we took it. He said he put, like, he gave me a double dose, like 2 drops on one tab, and then he gave her 1 dose. So that would be 1 drop of acid on a tab. Because I was like, oh yeah, like, let's do it. Like, I was all excited about it. So I'm like, give me the double or whatever. So yeah, he gives me both. And then he pulls out this literal Ziploc bag. Like, imagine, like, those, like, sandwich bags. I'll try to put a picture of one right here. Ounce bag. Like, if you bought weed in a bag, like, an ounce would pretty much fit in one of those sandwich bags. And he literally pulled it out, and it was full of cocaine, like a bag full of coke. And I was like, oh shit. So, like, I guess we were just, like, into, like, snoring shit and coke at the time, but, like, fuck it, let's do the coke and the acid. So we started snoring the fucking lines of coke. Like, goddamn, I've never seen someone bust out so much coke in my life. Like, that was, like, literally... God, it must have been, like, at least a pound of cocaine. Like, I literally don't even know. But, anyway... So there was, like, the guy, the plug who we met up with, and then he was with a couple of his friends, and he's like, oh, like, for your trip, like, we should go into the woods. So they bring us to the fucking woods in their creepy little van, and we, like, this is, like, the middle of the night, keep in mind, like, we probably hung out with them at, like, they probably picked us up around, like, 10 or 11 or something. And, like, by this time, it was probably, like, 12:01. So they take us into the woods, okay? It's the middle of the fucking night. They, like, set up, like, this whole thing, like, this blankets and shit, and, like, they, like, his friend, like, wanted to sit with me, and, like, the plug wanted to sit with my friend, like, and just, like, sit next to each other and, like, look at the stars, and, like, they literally took us there because they wanted to just fuck us, like, in the forest, like, literally high off acid, like, no thank you. But anyway, they literally just took us there because they wanted to fuck us. So basically, I was, like, starting to trip at this point, like, the acid was starting to kick in, and I'm like, what the fuck, like, what's going on, like, why'd you take us here, like, why are we here? And they're trying to act like, oh, we just took you here to, like, look at the stars and, like... But they were all being all weird, like, oh, come sit down, like, let me touch you and all this shit, like, the fuck? You didn't just come here to look at fucking stars. Like, dude, like, I know what you're doing. I got up, I was, like, kind of freaking out. And then, literally, the guy who we went to go hang out with, the plug, he literally pulled out, like, a butterfly knife and started, like, he literally was, like, flicking it, like, in my face, like this, back and forth. And I was, like, starting to trip at this point, dude. I was, like, I was just hella freaked out. Like, they were being sketchy. Like, everyone was on just some weird shit. And I was, like, on acid. So I'm, like, this ain't good. Like, when people say that, like, oh, you gotta make sure you're, like, with people you trust and shit when you're on acid. Oh, fuck yeah. Like, that shit literally right there sent me into, like, the worst trip. Okay, so I'm like, keep going. So fucking, then we all get back in the van. I'm like, eventually I'm like, let's fucking leave. This is weird as fuck. We were there for, like, probably an hour or two. And then we got back in the van, and they're like, okay, we're gonna go hit a lick. Like, let's go to a lick. Like, that's so cool. Like, it's, like, fucking Friday night. We're out here on acid, like, trying to hit a lick. Like, what the fuck do I look like? Like, so anyway, he was like, I'm gonna take you guys to a lick. Like, I'm gonna show you this lick. They were acting like they were just gonna show us the lick or something. I don't even know. But, like, they were, like, actually, like, secretly, like, gonna go hit the lick. Like, actually pull out guns and shit, like, with us there. So anyway, but I didn't know it. I was just hella tripping off acid, and I was just, like, going wherever. I was, like, in the back of the van, like, fucked up. Like, I literally can't even remember the van ride. Like, I remember everything else, but I don't remember, like, at all, like, riding in the van. Like, and I don't remember where we went either. Like, it's the weirdest thing. It's, like, I was, like, trying to pay attention to where we were, because I'm, like, secretly, I'm gonna tell my boyfriend to actually come up on this, like, no, but I was trying to, like, pay attention to where we were, so, like, I knew where I was, you know? So, anyway, we were driving. We end up finally at the lick. Okay, keep going. Okay. We show up at the lick. We park. Obviously, like, it's a lick. Like, there's not fucking... Okay, well, I didn't know what he meant, because licks can mean a lot of different things, okay? And if you don't know what a lick is, it's like if you're basically robbing someone usually of like drugs or something. It's a place you go to rob someone. Like, I hope that makes sense. But anyway, like, if you hear that so-and-so has weed at their house, like, someone might hit a lick on you and, like, try to rob you. I'm sure everyone knows what that means. Like, I don't know why the fuck I'm explaining. Okay, so, anyway, we show up at the lick. We park, like, literally. We park and literally walk, like, so far deep into the forest. Like, deep as fuck. Deep as fuck into the forest. Like, we're walking. And I'm like, dude, like, by lick, I thought you meant, like, someone's house or something. Like, I didn't think you meant, like, in the middle of the forest. Like, you're taking us to another forest? Like, that was just hella sketch right there. Because the shit you tried to do before, you made me all sketch now. So I was like, what the fuck? Like, where are you taking us? We were just walking through the forest. And we're on, like, a trail. It's like, that's the lick. It's right up there. Like, down the trail, down the path. And look over. And there's literally, like, a 12-foot high gate. Like, fence. And, like, literally a guy. Like, all I see is a silhouette. Because there's, like, lights shining on the outside. Towards the front entrance, like a jail or something. And there's literally a guy in like a military looking costume with a fucking AK-47, a big ass fucking gun, like an AK-47 or something. A big gun, like just posted like this. Like just holding his gun outside the gate, like literally in military costume with a huge ass gun, a huge ass like assault rifle. And that's the fucking lick. They literally were guarding the lick. It literally was like a military looking guy guarding this marijuana grow farm. It was so weird. It was like the most official, legit looking thing. I'm like, where the fuck did you take me? Okay, so we're all four of us, we're all staying in line and we're just staring at this guy. Like, we, like, literally could not believe our eyes. Like, we're literally wondering if we're just tripping or if, like, that's really there. And we, like, I look over to, like, the plug, the guy, and he, like, I said, like, yo, is that fucking real? Like, is this real right now? Like, am I really seeing that? And he's like, yeah. He was just, like, literally, like, nod his head or something. I'm like, this is the craziest shit I've ever seen in my fucking life. So the guy was literally just standing there, not saying anything. Big ass rifle in his hand, like holding it with two hands, like this, like up or something. Like, I don't even know. It literally looked like a military guard guarding this fucking weed, this lick. Like, it was insane. He said that he'd been there like a couple days ago or like a week ago or something to scope it out, and it was fine. He was like, that wasn't even there before. So, yeah, I don't know. So, we ended up just going back to the van once again. I'm not even, like, smoking this anymore. Like, I'm just talking. So, we go back to his van. And we're, like, literally so sketched out. Because I think they took acid and I don't think he was doing coke, but I think he took acid too. And so I think he was, like, kind of tripping out too. He was like, because we all were on acid, so we were all not sure that that was what we were seeing. But, like, literally legit, that fucking happened. Like, I know, like, now what, like, when you're on acid, you, like, afterwards, you knew, like, I think you still know, like, what was real life and what was not. Like, after you realize, like, oh, that was real. Like, no, literally, we went there and saw that. Like, that was fucking real. Anyways, that was, like, the first lick I fucking went to, tried to hit. No, I'm just kidding. That was the first and only time I ever went to a lick. That shit was scary as fuck. Would not recommend. 0 out of 10. Okay, so anyway, we get back in the fucking van. And then they take us back to, like, the little kick-it spot, the little guest house that they were, like, living in. And by this point, the fucking sun was almost coming up. We're just kicking it, like, I think we were, like, kicking in the car, actually, like, just outside of the spot. Because, like, I'm pretty sure they, like, got the hint that we didn't want to fuck them, and then they were trying to, like, take us home, you know? But then, like, it's awkward, like, they don't want to just be like, oh, well, you don't want to fuck, like, bye. Like, they're just being weird as fuck, like, on God. Like, I literally was, like, in the van, and I started to, like, it started to turn into a really bad trip after I saw that guy, like, with the gun there. Like, that just sent me over the edge. So yeah, that was scary as fuck. Then we got back in the car. The sun's coming up. I'm literally, like, looking around, like, at these people, and they're literally, like, whispering and talking, like, to each other, like, in a certain way where I genuinely felt like, oh, I'm sitting in the back of this van, and literally I had this, like, impending doom of, like, cop cars just, like, surrounding me, and, like, I knew that, like, my friends were trying to set me up. Like, that's literally what I was feeling. And I was, like, literally, like, I kept looking around. I'm like, any second, like, cop cars are gonna pull up to me right now and, like, literally arrest me and, like, say I was, like, doing acid and trying to hit a lick and, like, had all this shit. We had, like, a butterfly knife and, like, a Ziploc of Coke. I literally thought the cops are on us, because this guy is, like, the plug, right? That's why I've been calling him this whole time. He's a fucking known drug dealer. So literally the whole time I was fucking looking over my shoulder, watching my back. I was like, literally any second the cops are gonna fucking bust in on us right now, because we're fucking doing drugs and shit. And I'm gonna get in so much trouble, because I was, like, on probation, or I had just gotten off probation. I don't even remember. But yeah, besides the point, I literally felt like the cops were literally about to arrest us, like, at any point in time. So, I'm, like, tripping the fuck out. I'm like, I need to get out of this car. Like, I literally told them, like, yo, you guys, like, I need to leave. Like, I'm just trying to get out of the car. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I was just gonna finna walk somewhere. I'm like, I'm not staying with y'all getting caught up. Like, but yeah, that shit was not cool. Not cool at all. So anyway, I was like, I gotta get out of the car. And I was, like, walking. And then my best friend, and the plug, they started walking, like, 10 feet ahead of me. Like, they were walking where I was walking, but, like, 10 feet ahead of me. Felt like they were doing that so, like, the cops could come up behind me and, like, they were just gonna, like, leave me with all the evidence and shit. Like, dude, everything they were doing was hella sketchy, and to this day I literally think they were on some sketch shit. Like, I don't know what, but they were on some weird shit. 100%. Anyway, so I get out of the van. They're walking, like, 10 feet ahead of me. This guy and this girl who never, like, really, like, knew each other or hung out before, they were, like, literally, like, holding hands like they're fucking besties and, like, whispering in each other's ear and shit. Bitch, what? Bitch, why are you doing that? Why are you guys whispering in each other's ear and shit? Like, I know I was on an acid trip, but I was not, like, making that up in my mind. Like, I literally, they were walking 10 feet in front of me and whispering in each other's ear. Like, that shit was weird as fuck. So I literally, like, I was walking behind them, and they started to, like, go into the parking lot. They were, like, we were, like, gonna go to Safeway or something, because, oh my god, if you don't know about Safeway Safeway has the best breakfast burritos. Like, if you're up all night and you're fucked up, Safeway opens at 6 a.m. They're ready to give you your fucking breakfast burrito. The potatoes aren't ready yet, but fucking, it's okay. You'll be fine. But yeah, anyway, Safeway has the best breakfast burritos, and we were, like, literally right behind the Safeway, so I think we were, like, when we got out of the car, they were like, oh, let's go to Safeway, like, let's get breakfast burritos, like, trying to, like, calm down or something. But I was like, fuck that, I'm not hungry, I feel like you guys are trying to set me up, like, I'm not fucking going. Okay, so I start walking literally the other way. I start walking in the direction of my house. I'm like, I'm gonna just leave them all to finna go get arrested. Like, and I literally just ditch them and start walking towards my house. And I was like walking fast. Like, I was trying to get the fuck away. I'm pretty sure I was like running towards my house. And my house was like a good, like, at least 5 miles away. Like, I don't even know. A good couple hours if I was gonna walk, but honestly, I'm like, I literally don't give a fuck. Like, I'm literally just gonna walk home. Like, I'm not gonna just stay here with these sketch balls and get arrested. Like, y'all dumb. Like, I'm not gonna just stay there. So anyway, I start walking home. It's down, like, a busy-ass street. It's 6 a.m. And I literally am walking down the street, and every person I see, I literally was seeing my boyfriend's face on them. Like, I don't think he was my boyfriend yet, but we were, like, definitely talking. Like, wanted to be my boyfriend, like, really bad. And I would, like, literally see his face, like, on everyone who I would pass. Like, just because I was on acid, that was, like, the only visuals I honestly saw. Like, everything else was just everyone being on some weird shit. Like, that was a visual. Like, once the morning hit, that's when the visuals started to kick in, though. And everyone who passed by, I was seeing my, like, my close guy friend / about to be my boyfriend's face on. So yeah, I was seeing his face literally on everyone who's walking by, and I literally had to stop at the McDonald's and just sit the fuck down. Literally right when I started seeing his face, he fucking called me. It's 6 a.m. 6 a.m. on, like, Saturday, and he literally randomly called me right when I started seeing his face. That's not normal. Like, how weird is that? Like, I was like, this, like, a coincidence or something. He's like, are you good? Are you good? And, like, that was when I was, like, freaking out to him. I just started to see his face, and then he called me. He called me, dude. That's literally proving that acid literally opens up a part of your brain where, like, somehow you could literally, like, feel, like, psychic shit. Like, someone's about to call you. Like, that was just insane to me. So, yeah, he called me. He was like, are you good? And I'm like, honestly, no. Like, I'm so fucked up. I'm literally tripping. Like, they were being so weird. He's like, they're not being weird. Like, she called me and said, like, to call you that you were being weird, that you were acting crazy. And I was like, no, they're being weird. And he's like, no, like, you were, like, acting all paranoid and then you just, like, left them. And I was like, no, they were on some weird shit, I swear. And he's like, Lauren, stay there. Like, they're gonna come get you. Like, I'm like, fuck that. So I kept walking down the street, and, like, I'm like, oh my god, like, I literally have to pee so bad. This is so ratchet. I'm so sorry. But I was like, literally, oh, I have to pee so bad, and there was, like, no bathroom. I just literally all of a sudden had to pee, and I did not give a fuck. So there's, like, literally, like, some bushes, like, a little cement bench and, like, some bushes, and I literally just pull out my little shit and fucking took a piss right there. And literally, while I was taking a piss, I relieved myself. And literally, a car's coming, so I'm trying to get my pants up. And it's slowing down and it's stopping. And like, I'm like getting my pants up like quick as fuck. Like literally, I see that's my friend and her boyfriend. And they were coming to pick me up. And they totally saw me peeing there in the street. So that was cute. It was great. So yeah, they come up. They like pick me up and they're like, "Are you good? Like, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "No, honestly, I'm tripping out, you guys." And she turned around and looked at me. And I literally saw my boyfriend's face on her. And they were like morphing into like the same person. Like, it was insane. Like, I literally thought for a second that they were the same person. Because like, they're like both my best friends. And like, her face was morphing into his face. Like, I was confused as fuck. I was like, I have to get home. So yeah, they pull up to my house, they drop me off, and they go do something else. Like, they were boyfriend and girlfriend, so I think they probably just went to his house and fucked. So yeah, that was such a fun time. No, but honestly, such a bad time. That was not a good time. That was a bad trip. And what I took away from that, honestly, was like, know who your friends are. Like, I thought I was comfortable with her, like, cool to do acid with her. Like, that was my best friend, but that ended up, like, not being true. Like, it was honestly just not a good vibe. You need a chill vibe. Like, if you're doing acid, do it with, like, a cool-ass person who's, like, who's just a good vibe for you, you know? Some shit like that, you know what I mean? You need someone who, like, gives you a good vibe. That's all I'm gonna say. And honestly, one other thing I took away from that shit, what I'm never gonna do again, is acid and coke together. Because that shit just... And, like, I've said that to people, like, oh, like, don't do acid and coke together. Like, and they're like, why would I do that? Like, I know that coke makes you paranoid and, like, you would just want to be chill, like, for your acid trip. Like, but I never really thought that deeply about it, like, when I was younger. So, yeah. Definitely would not recommend acid and coke together. Would not recommend. That shit got me fucked up. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. I still only smoked like half this joint, like... I was too busy telling the story to smoke. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you took away some... Whoa. I don't even know. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Bye. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you want to, leave me a comment. Tell me about your worst acid trip. I really want to know. If you've had one, tell me if you've had a worst acid trip. And if so, what was it like? Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna go now. Smoke the rest of this. Listen to music.